Clark County area. So again, if you're in Clark County, heads up, we're tracking a really dangerous, really several areas of rotation. One in particular that had a, what looks to be debris that was being thrown in the air from what we believe was a tornado in progress. So again, we may get some reports coming out of parts of Smith County as well as around that Bay Springs area. Hopefully not too much in terms of damage or hopefully no injuries. But again, the radar did show something that looked a little troubling. So again, we're going to definitely stay with this. We are watching this complex as it moves towards the east. It's a part of a larger system. And again, we have this new warning that goes through Jasper County, the heart of it, into areas around Clark County, which does include the Quitman area as well. Again, that goes until 10:15. So, Zach, if we can go ahead and take a look at the newest loop here. We can kind of loop things up and kind of show folks an idea of where this is going, what are we looking at. And again, we had these little areas of distinct circulation here right along this line. Let's go ahead and switch to the reflectivity just to kind of give you all an idea of what this is a part of. This is a part of a series of showers and thunderstorms that we're watching. As you look at the reflectivity, this is a long line of storms. And again, we have rain now in Meridian, but that is non-severe. So if you're in Meridian wondering, are we under any type of alerts? No, we are not in Meridian. No, you're not. If you're in Chunky or if you're around the Newton area, you're looking pretty good right now for Forest. Actually, if you're in Forest, the worst of the storms are kind of moving east of you, but we still have to watch out for this cluster here that is now approaching Clark County, moving through Jasper County, pushing out of the Smith County area. And again, we are going to have to stay with this until this kind of makes its way out. This seems to be the worst of what we're dealing with right now, but we'll also keep an eye out of what's moving through parts of Kemper County. For right now, though, if you're in Kemper County, we're not tracking anything severe, but those storms are strong. So hopefully you are in your safe place. So here's a check of the setup here. Again, we do have the lightning turned on, and we don't have a lot of lightning affiliated with some of this, but still, as you see, we do have some storms that are still on the severe side and even rotating. So we're going to go ahead and stop this, kind of show you what we're watching, that line there, dark shades of red indicating very heavy rain. And also, if you're trying to look out the window to see, if you see a tornado coming your way, you won't see it because, again, it's going to be rain wrapped. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little tighter. We'll switch it to the velocity, which allows us to see inside the storm so we can kind of see where the rotation is. There's Montrose, here's Bay Springs, and the worst of it is going to be pushing out of Bay Springs here shortly, but right now Bay Springs is under the gun. You kind of see what the green is touching the red there. That is definitely a distinct area of rotation. We have a little one not as distinct around the Montrose area. It just shifted now. So now it's just kind of east of Montrose with the latest scan. We also have another one now east of Bay Springs. So Bay Springs looks to be in the clear of this severe storm that, again, at one point did look like it was spawning a tornado or had one in progress. We have another area that we're watching down towards that Taylorsville area. But again, here's a look. You see the green, you see the red. This is where we're watching that area of distinct circulation here. And again, that is going to continue to shift towards the east. And that's what we're watching because, again, that could definitely be something that could spawn another tornado because based on at least the radar, there were confirmations there that it was creating some damage. So, Zach, if we can zoom on into that neighborhood, just kind of downstream of where we see the area of rotation is right on top of 18. So hopefully you are not traveling. If you are around the 18 areas, kind of stay put. Get down a little bit tighter into the neighborhoods there so we can kind of give folks a heads up. Gridley, if you're around the Gridley area, you do want to be in your safe place. Go a little farther towards the south there, Zach, if you can. If you're around 1816, County Road 1816, you want to be in that lowest level of your home away from windows. Hopefully you've already kind of moved from, let's say, a mobile home area to a sturdier structure if that's where you live, because again, a mobile home is no way in terms of not a good place to stay if you are dealing with the winds of a tornado. So hopefully you've already moved to that sturdier structure. Same deal if you're on County Road 1815. And if we go a little bit farther towards the south, again, McNeil, you want to be in your safe place as well. The Fook area, you want to be in your safe place. County Road 16, again, get to that lowest level of your home, away from windows, bathroom, closet. The same thing if you're around County Road 29, because again, we have the worst of the weather that's going to be pushing towards you here shortly. A broader view to kind of show you what we're tracking again. We're going to kind of show you what we're watching, and this is it right here. This is the area of rotation, and it is right on top of 18. I mean, directly on top of parts of 18, just north and east of Bay Springs. So Bay Springs, you still sit under a polygon for the original one that was in place, but you are now in the clear of this cell. You still want to stay put though, give it a little more time to kind of get out of the area. Still not a good time to travel, but again, it looks like the worst of it is now moved out of Bay Springs. Again, kind of paralleling or riding along 18 at this time. Looks like it's just north of 528, and here's a look at 59, just to kind of give you an idea of where it is in response to, or just in correlation to where the interstate is. But regardless, again, not a good time to travel. If you have friends and family that's traveling across 59 and they're trying to head home, you may want to give them a heads up not to take that left into town, just to kind of go to like a sturdy place, a gas station or something of the sort, and kind of ride this one out and let the storm pass, because you don't want to be on the roads as this is coming in. So if we can, Zach, get a little bit tighter. Again, we want to show some of those neighborhoods that are up next for being impacted by this. This is an old scan, so at this point, it probably is sitting already along 18 near County Road 1816. You're probably already dealing with it. We're talking very strong winds. It may get loud. The power may go out. So again, hopefully your phone is charged up. You want to be in that basement. You want to be in that lowest level of your home, away from those windows in the interior portion of your home. You want to be in a bathroom or a closet. If you're around County Road 1820, again, you want to go ahead and get to that lowest level of your home. If we can go and zoom in a little bit tighter and show me some of these other roads here, if it'll give you that information. I guess it's not going to give it to us, but again, if those roads I mentioned sound familiar to you, 1820 and near Highway 18, you want to be in that lowest level of your home, because we have a storm that has a history, at least based on radar, of having debris or damage potentially with it because of what we see on the radar. We saw some evidence that there was some debris that was lofted in the air because of a rotating thunderstorm that we saw, which gave us an idea that it was definitely a tornado in progress. So again, here's a broader view. We want to give you a perspective and show you what we're tracking. We have this area of rotation that's very distinct now. At one point, we were tracking several areas of rotation. Now we have this one that really stands out. It is now east of Bay Springs. So if you're in Bay Springs, you look to be in the clear of this cell. You still sit under a warning polygon, which was affiliated with this, but you still want to stay put. You don't want to make your way outside at all. Again, here's Montrose. You are in the clear of this, but we have this cell that's shifting east, and it is moving towards Interstate 59. So if you have any family or friends that you know will be on the road around this time, let's say they get off work at 9:30 and they tend to hop on the interstate, and maybe they live throughout parts of Jasper County, please give them a heads up to not to get on those roadways, to kind of stay at work, let these storms move on by, because again, this is a vicious one. We're talking about very strong winds regardless with this entire system. It has a lot of wind energy, and again, we're dealing with also what we call wind shear, where you have wind going in one direction at the surface and then it's going and changing directions, and as you go higher up in the atmosphere, and that's what's giving that spin. Plus we have instability in the air, which helps to fuel those storms. So again, this is what we're watching now. We have rotation. We definitely see evidence of that with that green and that red. That green is moving towards the radar, red is moving away, and that gives us that counterclockwise spin, which again is showing that the storm is rotating. A similar setup here as you get down towards the Taylorsville area, and that area is also tornado warned, and that is into the Smith County area. So again, we have multiple warnings. Right now, we have one distinct cell that's pushing through the heart of Jasper County. We have another one that's sitting around the Taylorsville area, extreme southeastern portions of Smith County. Heidelberg, you are not under any warnings right now. This cell here that we're tracking is just north of Heidelberg. But again, it is shifting east and is going to be approaching the Interstate 59 corridor here sooner than later. And if it can hold together, it is going to push into Clark County. So downstream, heads up for equipment and heads up for enterprise. So Zach, if you want to go ahead and give a new timeline for folks that are down into the Clark County area, kind of extend it there to kind of see what the expectation is for when it could approach various cities. So, and then move towards the Rise area as we head towards 936, eventually towards Waldrop as we get closer to 940, so you have a little less than 10 minutes. It'll move towards Rose Hill as we head towards 946, eventually towards the Pachuta area as we head towards 957. So around that 10 o'clock time frame, it will be entering Clark County and impacting areas around Pachuta, Stonewall, and eventually towards Quitman as we head towards 1010. So we'll clear that. We have an updated scan. Let's go ahead and see what's noticeable here, and a little bit of a loop to give folks an idea of what we're looking at. And if we can loop it really quickly, kind of see what we're tracking. And again, we're watching this area of rotation that's right about here. Okay, there's Bay Springs, and Bay Springs, you're now in the clear. As you see, you don't have any more polygons over you, no red outlines, so you're in the clear of this sale. Taylorsville, that area that we were watching there, it's east of you. It's no longer warned either, which is good news, but we do have this distinct sale that is into Jasper County. So we can get a little bit tighter here, Zach, and we'll go ahead and give a little bit of a heads up to the communities downstream of that. Kind of zoom into where the area of rotation is. We're going to go back into Jasper County, go to the north where the warning is, and we're going to get that sail here that we're tracking right about there. It's just now east of 18. Get a little bit tighter so we can kind of give some of the folks a heads up downstream. So if you're around Paulding, you want to go ahead and get to that safe place. Get a little tighter if you can. County Road 16, go south a bit, and let's see what we have here. Go to the south and west if you can. There you go. County Road 16, get to your safe place. Over towards the county road, it looks like 163. It may be 1632. I can't really see that. It's kind of overlaid there, but if that sounds familiar, then you want to go ahead and get to your safe place. 1632, where it meets County Road 16. Again, you need to be in that lowest level of your home, away from windows, bathroom, closet. Same deal if you're around County Road 3915. Again, get to that place of safety. And again, Paulding is right near you. So you want to go ahead and get to that place of safety as well. Again, that lowest level. Go a little farther towards the west if you can. Damn it, you want to get away from those windows. You don't want to be where you can, again, get some other impacts from, again, glass breaking and things of the sort. And you also want to have that phone with you as you move into these places, the basement, the bathroom, the closet, so that even if the power goes out, you can still track our coverage here at WTOK. County Road 1628, you need to be in your safe place. Same deal for County Road 31. So if these county roads sound familiar to you, go ahead and get to your safe place right now as the storm is on top of your area. And also if you're around County Road 3121, again, we're tracking an area of circulation that is approaching the area. And again, this is right across the heart of Jasper County. So kind of zoom out a bit. I want to give you a perspective of what we're watching. Again, we have this area here. You see that little speckle of green? Again, that's the area of rotation now east of 18. As mentioned, an update, Bay Springs, you are in the clear. And also you're in the clear if you're around Lewin. But we still have an active warning until 10:15 for this area of rotation here that is pushing towards the interstate. So hopefully folks are off the roads, but we know it's an interstate. More than likely there are people on the interstate. So hopefully this will kind of fizzle before approaching. But regardless, if you have friends or family that you think might even be trying to travel at this time, give them a heads up of what we're watching and how they may want to kind of delay traveling until this storm moves on out. It's going to eventually move towards 11, and if it can hold together, it is going to approach places like Pachuta, Stonewall, and maybe even downtown Quitman, again, if it can hold together. So I'll give you one more view of the updated timeline, and then I'll have Zach give any updates from the National Weather Service, and then we'll go ahead and allow him to kind of come with you to track more of this complex and the storm overall as it moves east. So again, a heads up, latest look at the timing. It's going to may move just north of Waldrop, but regardless, the overall line that it's affiliated with is going to be moving through Waldrop at 9:38, and eventually is going to push towards Rose Hill by 9:41. And over towards Enterprise, if it can hold together, again, you're within the swath of where we have multiple areas of rotation. That's going to be about 9:53. And we're looking at Stonewall by 9:58. Sable as we head towards 10:05. And unfortunately, Sable was one of the areas that had a confirmed tornado this past weekend around that area. So again, just heads up there. Quitman, if it can hold together, 10:06. And then eventually over towards Sykes by about 10:15, if again, it can hold together. But again, get to your safe place right now if you're west of 59 in the Jasper County area. Zach?
Right, well, if you're just now joining us, we are still tracking this tornado warning. This is the area of circulation right here that we are seeing currently to the east of Bay Springs, currently moving towards Interstate 59 and Highway 11 here. So if you are downstream of this, which is heading towards the Clark County area right now, that is where you'd be taking shelter. This warning goes until 10:15 p.m. here, so we are still tracking this through the turn of the hour, heading on downrange. And you can see where that red meets that green right there. This is that circulation we've been tracking for the past little bit now. This is the one that had that confirmed debris signature as it was moving over west of Bay Springs, and now it's moved over to here. It doesn't have that debris signature right now, as far as we know, but still moving on through. This did have that confirmed tornado, so if you are in the community of Paulding, in fact, this scan is a little bit old, so it's probably over the area of Paulding right about now, anywhere along the County Road 503 area, heading out to, if you are to the east of the County Road 503 area and east of Paulding, heading towards Interstate 59 in Pachuta, anywhere along the Lake Edens area, any of these little Lake Edens roads here. I'm seeing 1638, 1638-7, County Road 16. Y'all are the ones right now that need to be in your safe space, because this has had a history of a tornado, and it could still have one there. I mean, even we still see that circulation there anywhere along this, basically anywhere to the east of Paulding right now. Roz, you give it a little more time. You might be safe here if we can see the next scan here in just a minute. Doesn't have that debris signature it had a while back, but still, as it is continuing forward, treat this as if it were still a confirmed tornado, because it does have that history of having that rotation there. So anywhere along 503, heading into Paulding. This is what we're seeing right now. This is that heavy rain. So even if you are going outside right now, maybe you're trying to see something in 9:30 at night when it is pitch black outside, you won't be able to see anything. Even if you could, it's still very much rain wrapped. Not much lightning with this system, but still very much a rain wrapped system. So don't try to go outside and get good photos of it. You're not going to be able to see anything, even if, it is still very much nighttime. Nearly 4 inches, some of us over 4 inches of rain an hour here. Now, this isn't sitting over us, so we're not going to get 4 inches of rain in an hour, but still plenty of heavy rain associated with this system. Now, heading towards the Pachuta area, they just updated this polygon here as it is continuing its easterly trajectory here towards Interstate 59 and the Pachuta area. So if you're anywhere along the Interstate 59, or you know someone who is along the interstate, if you can hear the sound of my voice, you need to be getting off the interstate if you are on the interstate. And also anywhere along Highway 11 or along 18 here, you need to be getting off those roads. If you are on the road, or you know someone who's on the road, tell them to get off the road, pull into a Love's or a gas station, somewhere with some stable shelter they could get into while this is still moving through. This is the updated scan here. There's the center of rotation now, currently moving over 503 just to the north of Paulding, heading towards Beatrice and Pachuta and Watabee as well there along heading towards that County Road 18 area. So if you're along the County Road 18 area or any of those little subdivisions off of that, you need to be getting to your safe space. We'll zoom in here, give you a street level view here. Any of these little Lake Edens subdivisions here. I see 1638 here, 1638 10A. Any of these little Lake Edens subdivisions here. You'll need to be in your safe space right now. County Road was at 18 there, heading towards Orange, 1848, 1848-2. Any of these 1840 X subdivisions right here, along these county roads right here, you need to be heading to your safe space. If you're not already there, take your good pair of tennis shoes, take your bicycle helmet, anything you can use to cover yourself, blankets, mattresses, get in the bathtub, put as much stuff between you and the outside as possible as this continues. That circulation right there continues to move to the east right now, like edging on towards that Interstate 59 right there and that Highway 11. It is still very much moving that way. We'll track it out for you here now. Moving at about 45 miles per hour. Currently, if you're in the orange area, you have less than 5 minutes now. You need to be getting to your safe space. Same for the Enterprise area. You have a little bit more time. Enterprise, Stonewall, y'all have about 10 minutes from now. It'll reach Elwood about the turn of the hour. Clark County, probably before the turn of the hour, but it's being generous. You're saying Clark County by the turn of the hour, Quitman as well, so the Elwood and Quitman area by the turn of the hour, if not just a little bit afterward. Sykes, Linton, y'all are a little further down range. It only goes until 10:15, could be extended further than that as we're currently seeing, but Sykes and Linton more towards 10:15 and 10:20 beyond that. So y'all do have a little bit, and we are seeing that tornado watch being dropped for some of our more western counties here. Scott and Smith have been dropped. However, for Newton, Jasper, Clark, Lauderdale, and Kemper, y'all are still under it here, and Jasper and Clark, or more like Clark now, that's where we're seeing that tornado warning right now, moving into Clark County, about to pass over Interstate 59 and Highway 11. So as for your tornado warnings, this is what we're seeing, and once we're behind this main line, once you're behind that heaviest portion of the rain, the severe threat drops off significantly. We're cooling off into the overnight, and it'll be a good night from there. We just got to get past this first. So as this is heading through here now, this is where we are seeing that. center of circulation right now, just barely eking towards Interstate 59. So if you do know someone along 59 or along Highway 11 there, anyone who lives along those roads, or maybe a little subsidiary heading just south of Enterprise and the Stonewall area, I know y'all got hit hard last week. Well, this is where y'all need to be kind of contacting those people if they're not already in their safe space, getting to a safe space now, because this is currently approaching y'all as it is heading towards Interstate 59 and Highway 11. Update from Deidre.
All right, so they're saying the sirens have gone off around Quitman. So if you're just joining us, the reason why is that we have this severe sale, actually this tornado warning sale that has a history of potentially creating some damage a little bit farther back. So again, this is the area that we're watching here, as Zach mentioned. And again, the area of rotation is just somewhat north of Paulding, and that's why the siren is going off in Clark County, because again, you have this that's eventually going to push across the county line. So if you're anywhere from Stonewall to Pachuta, areas north of there, Enterprise, County Road, it looks to be 320, I believe. You want to make sure you get to your safe place. Downtown Quitman, you're also within the polygon, so just make sure that you are, again, taking heed to the warning and getting to that place of safety away from windows, bathroom, closet. Again, we're watching that area of circulation that's going to push across the county line here shortly.
Right, so if you are still just now joining us, we are still tracking out this tornado warning here, moving into Clark County now, about to jump the county line here, heading towards I-59 and Highway 11. They're about to cross into Clark County here. So if you are...
I'm going to update it, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Ignore this one too, we got the wrong speed. Here we go.
That's all right. If you are just now joining us, this warning does go until 10:15, about to jump the county line here into the Clark County area here. So if you are in the orange area, you have about 5 minutes until this is on top of you. But this is a older scan. It's not the oldest one we had, but an older scan here. So if you're in the orange area heading out towards Beatrice and Waterby, y'all need to be in your safe space. Beyond that, Stonewall, Roy, Sykes, y'all have a little bit further out, but still be getting to your safe space, be getting your stuff together, good pair of tennis shoes, bicycle helmet, blankets, mattresses, anything to put, once again, as I kept saying, put as much stuff between you and the outside as possible. Put as many walls between you and the outside, as few windows between you and the outside, and as much stuff between you and the outside as well. Ditya, you have an update? All right.
Okay, so as mentioned, we're watching this warning. That was the latest track that Zach gave you. I'm kind of monitoring the Facebook post as well to kind of see what questions you all may have, and Zach is looking at it also. But again, I heard, or at least I saw that many of you were saying that the sirens are going off in Clark County. And again, this is why we have that cell that is tornado warned, pushing out of the Jasper County here shortly and pushing into Clark County. So if you're in Shibuya, you are not under the warning. So let me let you know that if you're in the Shibuya area, DeSoto area, you're not under the warning per se, or you just may be on the cusp of it in DeSoto, but we're definitely dealing with a warned sail pushing towards potential equipment if it can hold together. If you're in Pachuta, you want to also be in your safe place. It looks like it's right about here, so there's a possibility it may just go just north of the Quitman downtown. But if you're in Quitman, you want to go ahead and get to your safe place right now. Just get to that lowest level, get away from windows, bathroom, closet. If you have a friend nearby that has a sturdier structure and you live in a mobile home, again, if you're in Quitman right now, it's a good time to kind of make your way there if it's close by. You don't want to be on the roads or trying to travel anywhere too far. And Stonewall, again, you're not too far from this as well. So again, this is the area of rotation that we're watching. This active warning goes until 10:15. Got roughly about 30 minutes, give or take. And so it's approaching the Highway 59 corridor. So hopefully folks are not on the roads here. But again, if you know someone that is traveling right now, 45, again, parts of 11, hopefully not the interstate, but regardless, give them a heads up that there is a tornado warned sail that is pushing towards these areas. They need to veer off, get to a safe place of shelter, and let the storm move on by. So if we can kind of zoom in to where we have the area of rotation kind of east of 59, because you all will be, again, up next. So again, this is right on top of orange right now, but if you are kind of east of 11, again, let's go ahead and zoom into this little area here between Stonewall and Pachuta area. Okay, so right there, if you're at County Road 324, you want to go ahead and get to your safe place right now. Same deal for County Road 324-1. Get to your safe place. Make sure that you are in the lowest level of your home, away from windows, bathroom, closets, probably 3241, and you have 324. County Road 325, get to your safe place right now. Same deal for County Road 323. If this is sounding familiar, if that's your neighborhood, again, go to your place of shelter and get to that tornado safe place. Same deal for County Road 322. And also, if you're around the County Road 320 area, again, we are definitely monitoring your area because you're in the path of what could be a tornado. No confirmation of it still being on the ground per se, but we have had a history of that as we saw some looks to be damage being thrown in the air based on our correlation coefficient or product that we use to kind of see what's foreign that's being airbound or airborne, so to speak. Did you have an update, Zach? I saw you coming closer.
No updates right now.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay. All right, so again, if you're any of these county roads, go ahead and get to that place of safety. We do have an area of rotation that's approaching you, and you want to be away from those windows and in that place where you can be, again, safe. The basement, the storm shelter, grab the kids, tornado, or should I say the bicycle helmets. It's a good thing to have on during the threat of a tornado. Put on some shoes. Again, make sure everyone's kind of bunkered together on that lowest level as we're watching this area of rotation approaching 59. And this is looking not as distinct as it once was because, for one, we're farther away from the Jackson radar. So the farther away you go, that pulse or the scan from the radar is looking higher up in the atmosphere. So we're not really seeing the details down towards the surface, but this is still an area of rotation that we can pick out. And so that's why you want to make sure that you are in that place of safety. Stonewall, heads up. You want to go ahead and get to that place where you can be safe, away from those windows, sturdy structures, storm shelter preferred, basement as well, but definitely that lowest level. As again, this area is going to be pushing towards you. Same deal for Pachuta, get to that safe place, and again, heads up for equipment. This does go for at least the eastern half of the eastern parts of the Quitman, or should I say the Clark County area east of downtown Quitman. It has not been extended into our Alabama counties as the atmospheric setup is a little less intense. It's not as prime for severe weather the farther east you go, but again, it just depends on what type of fuel this thing is kind of eating off of, and it looks like for right now is maintaining itself. So again, if you're within this polygon, which is a good portion of the northern and western portions of Clark County, including downtown Quitman, Stonewall, as well as Pachuta, go ahead and get to your place of safety. If you're back towards Lewin or Bay Springs, and if you didn't get the heads up, you are in the clear. I know we have questions sometimes about what about Meridian. Meridian is not under any warnings right now. We just have an update with the warning here. It still includes the areas in Clark County that it once did, but now it's kind of cut off some of the west end of the alerts here. So it looks like, again, Heidelberg is not under the warning. It is now east of 503. So you all are in the clear if you are to the west of 503. Again, Lauderdale County, for the most part, not in this warning. It's a little tip of it there, but we're watching this here. So this is more so going to kind of head towards the east, northeast, and more so Stonewall, Pachuta, and possibly even Quitman. You're in the path of this. There's Enterprise. You also want to be in your safe place. Meridian is not under any warnings right now, and we're going to see if this continues on and if it will be extended into our Alabama counties, which more than likely it will not, but we just have to kind of see what this particular cluster does. I want to give you a broader view of what we're watching. What is this all affiliated with? And it's more so a line of storms that we have been tracking for hours now, and it's affiliated with a very strong cold front that's really going to take us from the 60s that we had today to around 30 by tomorrow morning. That's going to be a weather whiplash for sure. Again, this is the only active warning we have. It's a tornado warning south of Meridian, north of Waynesboro, but we do have some darker shades of red indicating very heavy rain. You may have some very small hail in some of these as well, but you see we do have some steady rainfall in some spots even behind the main line, but this is not severe. So in Neshoba County, I think you're in the clear from severe weather for the rest of the day. The same setup for those of you in the Newton County area. I don't see anything that's really threatening coming your way going forward. If you're in Scott County, you look to be in the clear going forward. If you're in Smith County, you look to be in the clear going forward as the main line is now east of you. That's why you've been dropped from those tornado watches. And much of Smith County is also, or should I say Jasper County is also kind of out of the threat for threatening weather, with the exception of the extreme eastern portions, and those are the locations that are still under that tornado warning until 10:15, although it looks like the main circulation is now entered into Clark County. So Zach, if we can go ahead and zoom into that, switch to the velocity, and right now we're looking at the typical radar you're used to seeing, but now we're looking inside the storm, and we're trying to get a better perspective of what's happening in terms of do we have rotation. So Zach, if we can kind of go to a different radar to see if it looks a little better from Mobile. If you can just kind of go to show closest radar. Yeah, not much better. So we'll go back to the one we were in. And again, it gives us a little bit. You can kind of see this here north of Heidelberg, a little bit of a spin. We'll be watching that. We're definitely watching the one that's approaching Stonewall right now. Be in your safe place. And again, this warning goes for a bit more until about 10:15, and we'll let you know if it's going to be extended. But we have definitely seen rotation with this. It looks like it's broadening out a bit, not as impressive. But we do have to keep in mind we're farther away from the radar, so it's just a little harder to detect circulation when we're that far. So you have to take this seriously if you're in Stonewall. We still see a little hint of rotation there, so you want to get to your safe place. We'll zoom on in around the Stonewall area, and we'll kind of call out a few other locations. Enterprise as well, get to your safe place. While 2B, you want to be in your safe place right now. If you're along County Road 320, get to that place of safety, again, away from those windows, lowest level of your home, the bathroom, the closet. You also want to make sure that if you have a storm shelter, that's a great place to be, and even a basement. 513, where it kind of intersects 514, again, that's a good place if you're within that area to go ahead and get to that safe place, because again, we're looking at you also being threatened by, again, an area of rotation that's kind of sliding towards the east. Even if you're located along 45, if you live along 45, many folks do live up and down 45, anywhere between, let's say, 514 and south, at least, let's say, to near where you would turn off to, let's say, go towards, again, downtown Quitman. If you're within, let's say, 514, down towards where you would turn off to go to downtown Quitman, get to that safe place. Because, again, we do have this area of rotation. It's rather broad, but it's kind of shifting towards the east. So you want to make sure you're in a place of safety. And even if you live along 145 or surrounding areas, you want to get in your safe place as well, as you are under an active warning right now. We'll give you a broader view of what the warning looks like. And, again, it kind of extends a little bit farther towards the east. And we do have it kind of cutting off before it makes its way across the county line there. But you get a good idea that, again, we still have some active weather, still see some discoloration here indicating that there's some rotation. And it does include the heart of Clark County. Shibuya, though, you are not within the warning. So if you live in Shibuya, you are in the clear from this that's coming through right now. If we can, Zach, if we want to take a look outside, I know if you're in Meridian, if we can go ahead and, Seth, if you can switch over to the...
I can take Meridian Skycam here on Max 1.
Either way, if Seth wants to go ahead and turn it over, if you want to switch the view, it doesn't matter. But we want to take a look in Meridian, and there we go. And as you can see, we have a rainy go of it. It looks threatening. The winds are whipping. If you can kind of see the road there, look at how it looks like the wind is moving in rows. Definitely a lot going on. Zach?
I do want to mention something with this. There is a special weather statement in place for Lauderdale County. Wind gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour, very heavy rain with this as well. Once again, this is not a part of the active system we are tracking on air right now.
That's actually it is. It's just not the warning. Yeah.
It's not the tornado warning right now, but still, we do have a special weather statement issued for Lauderdale County right now. So if you are in the Lauderdale County area.
You want to read the details regarding that? Just if you're in Lauderdale County, I know it looks threatening, so you're probably wondering what is happening? What warning are we under? And as Zach mentioned, you're not under a warning, but it's a special weather statement. So Zach's going to read that for you.
Right, special weather statement for Lauderdale County. Wind gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour, radar indicated. Gusty winds can knock down tree limbs, blow away unsecured objects. So I hope earlier today you were securing any lawn furniture or anything of that nature. And now as we're heading on into the evening hours, well, I hope you do have that ready, because certainly it is very much coming down right now. You can see this is the view from on top of our station right now, wind whipping through those streets. You can see how that wind is like really kicking up that rain right there, as well as this is currently moving through Lauderdale County. This is not a part, this is a part of the more major system, but this is not the active tornado warning that we are tracking. So while things are whipping up here in Lauderdale County, we're turning it back over to where that tornado warning is down here now, just in Clark County, just hot off the presses here. They've just reduced it now to Clark County here, as that rotation is still currently moving through. Little report of hail right there, just off to the east of Chunky there.
I'll see if we can see anything.
Please do.
Okay.
I seem to have lost a button, but that's beyond the point.
Yeah, not really seeing it. It's relatively small. I'm not seeing too much.
I mean, they were reporting pea-sized earlier whenever we went home for the first time, but we didn't see anything there either.
All right, so I'll take it back to the radar for you.
Absolutely, thank you. If
You
you
can go
are
ahead and
just
keep
now,
talking. Yeah, give them a heads up.
all
Kind
right. If you are just now joining us, we are still tracking out this active tornado warning right here for Clark County, moving just across the county line right now, across I-59 and Highway 11 as well, heading into the Stonewall area just to the north of Pachuta. The rotation will potentially miss downtown Quitman, but even so, if I was in the Quitman area or any of those little outlying suburbs around the County Road 145 mark or Highway 45, I would still be getting into my safe space right now because this is where that area of rotation is. You can see how it's kind of progressed through. This is that same area of rotation that when it was back towards Bay Springs had that debris signature associated with it. It doesn't anymore, but as we're still tracking this out here, still we're watching that rotation as it is sort of broadening over the Stonewall and Enterprise area right now. This warning still goes to about 10:15, so for about another 15 minutes here, we'll continue tracking this. If they don't extend it, and if they do, we'll continue on air with this. We're not expecting this to go out into our Alabama counties, but even so, we're still tracking this out as it is still continuing to move through. Would the Columbus radar have a better view on this, or is that about the same distance as Jackson?
Yeah, as you can see, this is that one. It's not really looking much different.
This is from Columbus, okay.
All right, very heavy rain. Let me try to see if I can get back to Meridian's camera.
Should be at the bottom of that list. Yeah. Very heavy rain here in Meridian right now. Still have that special weather statement out for Lauderdale County. Wind gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour here. This is a view from outside our station, from on top of our station, looking out towards 23rd right here and towards the 3-foot building. Wind gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour, blowing around unsecured objects, potentially knocking down tree limbs as well here in Lauderdale County. So certainly hope you secured your outdoor lawn furniture earlier. This is sort of how we're seeing things right now. Currently winds whipping through Meridian at a blazing 31 miles per hour right now, or a blistering 31 miles per hour.
That's not a wind gust. That's a wind speed.
I know, I said wind speeds, blistering 31 miles per hour right now. Wind gusts potentially even higher, upwards of 45 and 50 miles per hour as we're checking this out. It hasn't updated there, but check that out back in Jackson when it moved through earlier. Upwards of 45 miles per hour peak wind gusts there. Hasn't really updated in Meridian right now, but still we're seeing those winds. Radar indicated upwards of 50 and 55 miles per hour with this line moving through. That's why they issued that special weather statement for Lauderdale. We're still tracking that tornado warning in Clark County as well. However, we're currently moving into the overnight here, looking at our future cast here, moves out as we're looking at the turn of that 11 o'clock hour. By midnight, all the rain's clearing out. We're seeing clearing skies on into our Monday morning. Partly cloudy, potentially there. We are going to be seeing partly cloudy skies heading into Monday with clouds clearing as well. We'll continue tracking that tornado warning out right now in Clark County. That's where we're seeing it right now. A little bit of a broader area of rotation, harder to see because we are farther away from the radar sites right now. We also looked at Columbus and from Mobile as well. Currently, all of them kind of showing a little bit of a hazier picture here as we're moving further away from that radar site. But you can still see where that rotation kind of is right there as it's moving just to the north of Quitman proper. About to cross over Highway 45 right now, continuing its march on eastward along with this very large line of storms here associated with a very potent cold front that will reduce our temperatures to frosty levels within the next several days. So tracking this out here with us now, Clark County. Suffice to say, Clark County knows it's under a tornado warning at this point, but more towards the Roy and Sable area within the next 5 minutes. So Roy, Sable within the next 5 minutes, Middleton and Sykes within the next 10 or 15. More out towards Energy and Snell within the next 20 to 25. So we're still continuing to track this out here now. Now that's a little bit more downrange once you get past Middleton there. But once again, we are still tracking the circulation here as it is moving just to the north of Quitman proper. About to cross over the Highway 45 mark here. So fortunately, by the looks of things, this should hopefully miss Quitman proper to the north here as it's crossing over what looks to be County Road 514 and 145 here and Highway 45 as well. It's going to cross over there, moving out towards the Middleton area right now here as we are continuing to track this out right now. So we'll take a little bit of a tighter view here. What we're looking at, County Road 450, 456, if you're anywhere along these roads right now, you're next in line for this. You're next in the sites here. 457, 457-1, we're looking at y'all 2, 430 right now. Anywhere along these lines, y'all need to be either preparing to get to your safe place potentially or in a safe place already, because, I mean, this is still rolling through, very much rolling coal here as it's moving in and through the Clark County area right now. Deidre, anything?
No. We're going to just kind of stick with this. We should be getting an update here shortly about what they plan to do with that warning. But just wanted to give you all an update. We'll take a broader perspective, Zach. For one, if you want to go back to Meridian, just to kind of show folks how when the storms really come in, they come, and then how things look a little bit better as they move out. Again, a much better scene across Meridian compared to just 5 minutes ago. So the very strong winds have kind of shifted a bit out of the metro, but some of you in Lauderdale County are probably still dealing with quite a bit of windy conditions. Again, that sustained wind in Meridian just now was 31 miles per hour. So, you know, the gusts were a bit stronger. So we're going to take a look at the setup here. Let's see, that's what that red represents. There was a very strong wind that we had. That's the current wind speed at 22, but that red is reflecting the really strong wind we just had move through the downtown metro and parts of Lauderdale County. But let's go ahead and take a look at the big picture. Let me show you what we're watching still, what warnings are active, and again, we have about 10 minutes or so to see what's going to take shape with the setup over the Clark County area. So when you see these little areas of rotation, that is showing us that there is some rotation being detected via Doppler radar, which is what we're looking at. So you saw that around Meridian. We're not under any warnings, but again, just showing that there is some areas of rotation there, and also down towards the Heidelberg area. So we'll be watching this. So as you can see, with these little areas of rotation, that's letting us know that we can't drop our guards just yet. Even though it seems like the weather is looking better in other spots, not all areas in our viewing area are tapping into the calmer weather just yet. So there's the main line. You can kind of see the tip of it up towards, let's say, the Gainesville area or Geiger, and then kind of going down, we still see these little spins. So we'll see if it gets to a level where it will prompt a warning. But for right now, we still have this one warning in place. It does include the Clark County area, mainly north of Quitman in terms of the area of most best rotation, I should say. But this active warning goes for another 10 minutes. So we'll continue to monitor this, and we'll keep you posted on if it will be, again, kind of extended into our Alabama counties. But the atmosphere switches up a little bit here as you go farther east. It's not as prime or potent for severe weather. A lot of the juice in the atmosphere is kind of fizzling a bit, but still we have this active warning, and thankfully, again, it looks like the things aren't as impressive as they once were, but again, keep in mind we are farther away from the radar, so we don't get to see the details like we did for the counties a little farther west. But let's go ahead and take a look inside the storm. Right now we're just looking at the rain. We still see these little changes in color here. So we have some distinct areas of, again, possible spin, and we still have this active warning. It looks like the worst of it is kind of sitting on top of Stonewall. What we would like for you to do, though, is when it's safe to do so, evaluate what you see out your window, okay? You may not be able to do that more so tonight, but tomorrow, again, evaluate what you see out your window, take pictures safely, and then, you know, the National Weather Service could really use that information. It helps them to kind of figure out what hit an area. Was it straight line wind damage? Was it a tornado? But they can't do that unless you report what kind of damage you have outside your window. So again, try to do that evaluating tomorrow. Feel free to upload your photos to our weather app, our First Alert weather app. Hopefully you've already downloaded it. If not, you want to do that. That's one way to give us photos. You can go to our WTOK website and look for submit photos there, and you can upload your storm damage photos to that aspect, or that platform, I should say. But then also on Facebook, you know, definitely go to Facebook and you can upload your photos there. And again, we'll pass that along to the National Weather Service, or you can call your local EMA. Again, that's another way to get information out as well. But just make sure you report it. That's the takeaway. Make sure you report it so that the National Weather Service can know which areas were damaged, and they will go out and do a survey, and then they would deem whether that damage was created by, again, wind, straight line winds from a very strong thunderstorm, or was it actually a tornado. We still have an active tornado warning in place for Clark County. This goes until 10:15, so we'll stay with it. We still see these little kinks here, little areas of disruption. Again, more so the one of concern was near the Stonewall area, but we have a little bit of an area here near Quitman. Again, just make sure you're in your safe place if you're here. You don't want to be outside. You want to be on that lowest level. Again, this will soon pass, and we're expecting things to improve here within the next, let's say, 15, 20 minutes for sure. Again, if you're west of Clark County, Jasper, Smith, you are in the clear. If you're in the Newton County area, if you're in Scott County, you're also in the clear. If you're in Lauderdale County, you definitely want to still stay on your weather P's and Q's. You still want to have those multiple ways of getting alerts. You want to stay tuned to us for updates. You still need to watch out for the weather as we do still see some areas of possible spin. This is the only active warning in Clark County. And in Kemper County, right now, you're not under any warnings either. But we also saw little areas of spin, especially as you move farther north and east of there, near the northern portions of Sumter County. So, we'll be watching this closely. So we'll kind of zoom in a little bit tighter here, around 45, I believe, and in east is where you really need to be on guard. If you're around 145, again, Sable hit hard by a tornado last weekend, or at least near that area. Again, you're under the gun again. Stay in your safe place. Middleton, you're not under the warning, but we do have this area of spin that's approaching. So if you're in Middleton, you do want to go ahead and get to your safe place. We want to see if the National Weather Service is going to extend this farther east or not. We have this kind of paralleling 514. So again, if you're between 145 and let's say the Middleton area, it's very important that you go ahead and get to that safe place away from those windows. We can zoom in a little bit tighter, Zach, east of 145. Show some of the communities or county roads there. And if you're along County Road 148, again, go ahead and get to that safe place. County Road 470, you are out of the polygon or the warning, but again, we still have it kind of shifting east. So we want to see what happens with that, if the National Weather Service will extend the warning. So I do want you to go ahead and get to your safe place just in case. Regardless, stay away from those windows because it will be a lot of strong wind affiliated with that complex as it comes on in. And again, it's kind of riding that 514 corridor. And you also want to be in your safe place if you're around County Road 473. So we'll get a broader view here, a different perspective of what's happening. And again, kind of showing you what we're watching. We're kind of watching this little area here. Not too concerned about this one. It looks like it's relatively new in terms of the changing of coloring, but I'm not quite confident that's a true couplet because, again, we're kind of far away from the radar, no history with that. But again, we're definitely going to be watching this. And if you're under the polygon, regardless, just go ahead and stay in your safe place, even if you're in downtown Quitman. Patruda, I do believe you're in the clear, though, even though you are in the polygon, but you're to the west. I think much of the action is now more so along and east of 45 or near there. But Quitman, stay in your safe place just for a little while longer. Stonewall, I think you're okay as of right now in terms of in the clear. But again, we're going to wait to see what happens with this warning, if it gets extended or not. Broader view, though, once the warnings are over, we'll take a look back at the reflectivity to show you where the rain is. The rain will continue, Zach, and we can take a look at the reflectivity. And this will linger for a little while. And you may even have some gusty winds with this, but you won't be under the threat of any severe weather. As you see to the west, still some showers found throughout parts of the Smith County area. But again, once this main line moves on by, the weather will get much better in terms of the threat for severe weather going away. However, it's going to flip in terms of our severe weather, so to speak, as now we're going to go into a weather mode of cold in terms of preparing for freezing temperatures, especially as we head towards a Tuesday morning. Yes, we're going to flirt with freezing on Monday morning, and the question was asked on Facebook, is all of this rain going to freeze over and ice over for tonight? There could be some slick spots. Not really expecting it to be a freezing setup for many roadways as we go through the night because our lowest temperatures will be tomorrow morning about 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. So we have a lot of time for things to kind of dry out a bit. But we know there will be some ponding water. And so you really want to make sure if you're traveling overnight, as those temperatures drop off, you could encounter some slick spots, especially over bridges and overpasses. So take your time traveling overnight. There could definitely be some slick spots with all of this moisture that's going to be on the ground because those temperatures will drop like a rock. And then as far as, again, this main line is gradually shifting in east. Heads up for Sumter and Choctaw counties. You're not under any watches. Again, the atmosphere over you is a bit better in terms of not as supportive, I should say, of supporting severe weather, but we'll see what happens. You can still get some strong storms coming in, very heavy rain, gusty winds regardless, because the system has a lot of wind energy. And again, you could get some frequent lightning. But again, we have this line here that's still making its way across the area, still tracking this warning. It is now 10:12. We have a few more minutes to see what the National Weather Service is going to do. But again, if you're in this polygon, stay in your safe place. And even if you're a little bit farther towards the east of there, stay in your safe place for at least the next 5 minutes or so we can kind of figure out what the plan is. Let's go ahead and look inside it one more time to see what we have. I do see this area of rotation here is east of Heidelberg. So Shibuda, we're going to be watching this one. There's no warning on it yet. Can we rotate this or give a loop, Zach, to kind of see what's happening with that? I want to see what's going on with it. And it looks like we do have this little area of rotation. So if you're in Shibuya, heads up, it's a good idea to be in your safe place just in case. Again, this very well, there's an updated scan. It looks better. It looks better. So again, we're going to continue to kind of watch that. It does look better. The colors are not as detailed, and it doesn't look as impressive. So that is great news. Again, as this whole system tracks east, it is moving into an area that's not as supportive for severe weather. But again, we still have this warning for a couple more minutes in Clark County, which does include Pachuta, Enterprise, Quitman, not Shibuya, although we're watching a little area of the spin near you. So just make sure that you are kind of staying in your safe places within that polygon until we get the latest update. Otherwise, very heavy rain out there tonight, and we're looking at some very strong winds. Again, Meridian had that gust come through of rain and wind and actual wind speeds over 30 miles per hour. That is very strong. Again, there's a big picture of what's happening out there. And as you see, it looks like a painting, a lot of different colors. Many spots getting better weather, though. Again, drying out in the Neshoba County area, drying out over towards the Scott County area. Still have some pockets of showers around Newton County. We still have some around the Smith County area, but we are definitely looking better in Jasper County. But again, we're still watching this main line. Zach, any updates coming from the National Weather Service chat?
No, ma'am, no updates on that warning right now.
Okay, so why don't we just go ahead and give folks an idea of when all of this is going to move out. We're going to take you hour by hour as we look ahead. Again, we have the main line coming through. The model isn't doing the best at showing you the residual rain that's still back there, but if we can kind of back it up a little bit, again, here's an estimate of what we were going to experience while we've gone through that. It's showing a little bit, though. Again, it's roughly 10-15. It is picking up a little bit, but we have some spots that are still dealing with some showers even farther west. But the main line's pushing out. And notice as we head towards 11 o'clock, for the most part, exiting our viewing area, midnight, some of the lingering showers, but again, all of the heavy stuff, the threatening weather will be out of our area, approaching portions of central Alabama, and again, allowing us to dry out. So from that point, we're looking pretty good. And then we just have to get ready for the cold. So we do have first alert weather days that will be in place this week, multiple days this week, because our temperatures will drop. We're going to have a series of nights and early mornings with sub-freezing temperatures, so brace yourselves for that. Hopefully, you've already prepared for this cold. It's going to be extended. And so make sure the heat is working properly, things of that nature, having everything that you need to kind of sustain, because again, those mornings will be very cold, including with the wind. It's going to feel like teens for multiple mornings as we go throughout this week. Again, so it looks like we had an update, Zach. Do we have reports of everything being in the clear? I don't see any warnings that are on here as of right now.
No, ma'am, no warnings. We look to be in the clear for right now.
Okay, so we're going to join you back to programming here, which is actually our newscast. So we're going to get with our director to figure out exactly the process for that. But we are going to return you back to programming. And again, if we have any more warnings, we'll be back to give you the latest. But otherwise, get ready for News 11 at 10 to start here shortly.